Hello friends, Brian Cavanaugh here. I'm the founder of StreamWise Solutions, Connected Living Made Easy. We've been helping people save money off their TV and internet bundles and cut the cord for over 12 years. Today we're going to talk through the Tablo DVR, although it's much more than a DVR, as you'll see as I go through things today. We're going to give you a tour of the user interface, kind of like what we're on right now. You can see there's recordings and a live grid TV guide. I'm going to talk through the pros and cons of Tablo versus some other potential DVRs. Also lay out the different hardware that you need besides just a Tablo to make it work properly. And lay out the difference between these different models of Tablos, as well as the three main benefits of the Tablo. As you know, if you've tuned into us before, or if you're a customer, StreamWise Solutions really focuses on over-the-air antennas because it takes that $200 bill or $100 bill or even $65, $75 bill from streaming services for live TV, and it gets you the most expensive channels, which is the local network channels, in better HD quality, free for life. So it's obviously the best way to save money because TV content prices keep going up, not down. So anyway, some people are fine just having the antenna by itself, and it's kind of old school. It's just coax from the wall jack, plug it into the back of your TV. You're just using your TV remote, channel up, channel down. However, other people want more. That's without a Tablo, and a Tablo, even though it's called a DVR, does give you quite a bit more. The three main things it brings to the table for you is you don't need to have coax wall jacks. It's all wireless. So any type of streaming internet connected device can connect to it. And it gives you the ability to have your streaming, as I'll show you here if I hit the home button. I'm actually on an Amazon Fire Stick, 4K Max to be exact, because it's the best stick. You can see I have my streaming services, Sling and Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney and whatever, integrated in with my Tablo app. So I'm just using one remote control to navigate everything. And when I want to get into my antenna channels, whether it's live, grid guide, DVR recordings, it's all in one spot. So that's kind of the main thing. I think it's actually much more than the DVR. Obviously, it has the DVR piece. You can schedule recordings and skip commercials and all the other pause live TV, all the other great DVR stuff. And then the third thing is every TV tuner is different in TVs. This actually gives you the ability, the option to have a grid TV guide that actually goes out for 2 weeks. You can see I can actually move across the top here and go to the different days. So anyway, the grid guide is important to a lot of folks as well, and you can schedule recordings through here and things like that as well. So that gives you kind of a high-level summary of the differences between if you just have antenna only by itself versus you have a Tablo. The other thing I wanted to cover is the different versions of Tablos. They have one that is a network TV tuner. The one I'm actually using today, even though I'm not really using it directly plugged in, is actually called an HDMI Tablo. And you can use that separately as a box. The problem is it doesn't integrate streaming, so we actually recommend, as you can see if you go to our website, there'll be a blog link for all the details I'm talking about today. That gives you a link to our website and the Tablo review that has all the full hardware and links to that. So definitely check out down below in the comments section and click on that Tablo, the DVR, antenna DVR page of our website for more details. But the advantage of the Tablo HDMI, even though I'm not using it this way, is it's actually better quality hooked up through streaming sticks. And then more important than all that stuff to me is, since everybody on the planet uses streaming services nowadays, you can actually have just your Amazon remote or your smart TV remote or your Apple TV remote or your Roku remote. It integrates into pretty much all the top smart TVs and streaming devices into the Tablo app. So kind of like I was showing, if I hit the home button here on my remote control and go back home, you can see I have all my streaming in here, and then there's the Tablo app itself. So that's, to me, hands down pretty handy without having to change TV inputs back and forth to get from one source of TV streaming over to antenna channels as well. So anyway, to me it does better than any other over-the-air recorder in that one simple interface, one remote, no TV input changing. And I think it also does the best of integrating in with other streaming devices and streaming apps because it supports pretty much everything, unless you have a really old smart TV or a really old device. The third thing is it's actually pretty easy setup. I'm not going to show you the setup today. I actually can't even show you live TV on here because YouTube will kind of mark that video and take it down. But the setup is pretty easy if you have the right hardware, which we'll get into that in just a minute. And like I said, it's down below in the comments on the link to the blog on our website. The other thing is Tablo does have a great help center, including live support and a phone number. So that's kind of the fourth reason. The fifth reason is, although it's not totally 100% free, if you want to get the upgraded services for the guide that goes out 2 weeks and gives you a bunch of extra artwork and scheduled series recordings, it is a low monthly, or what I usually like to tell people is just do the annual rate. So it's pretty dang cheap for what you get. You can do the free version, it just limits the guide to a day, so it's just not quite as user friendly. So that probably only makes sense for people that don't really use the DVR and don't really care about going out, more than a day on the guide and mainly just watch live TV for antenna channels. To be clear, too, the Tablo does not record streaming services. That would be illegal. There is no device that legally does that. This is specifically to the free over-the-air antenna channels that are coming in, off of hopefully the powerful outdoor antenna that you've installed. Certainly that's what we specialize in and what we recommend. We never install indoor antennas because you have reception issues. So that's kind of what we'll get into next is, what type of hardware you need to get. And I'll kind of cruise around the user interface. You can see a little bit as I'm going through here too. So that was the grid guide. Like I showed you, it goes out a couple weeks. Obviously you need the Tablo to be able to get to all this stuff. That's the main piece of hardware, of course. The second thing you need is an antenna. We recommend an outdoor antenna because that way you won't have reception issues and all your reception will be, rock solid. You won't be missing channels. You won't have a breakup in the middle of your local news or your favorite game, that type of thing. You also need, at least for the recording piece, some sort of storage device, so like a USB external hard drive to plug in. That's what saves the recordings and such. So that's key if you are looking at doing recordings at least. Like I said before, we already talked about the Tablo annual guide data service. You can click on the link below and it'll get to the blog, which has a link to that as well. We recommend, if you don't have a newer streaming device or if you have an older smart TV, or it's just smart TVs in general aren't that great, honestly, with Wi-Fi, because the way the Tablo works is it connects the antenna not through the coax jacks throughout your house to the back of the TV, but it goes into the Tablo box and then it pushes that signal out via Wi-Fi to your smart TVs or laptop, tablet, smartphone, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, whatever it is. We recommend newer hardware that has better Wi-Fi receivers in them. We have a link to the Amazon Fire 4K Max that has Wi-Fi 6. And we also recommend a mesh network, which is Wi-Fi 6, which not only will help with streaming your Tablo and over-the-air free TV around the house, but everything is just much, much better and faster as far as your Wi-Fi strength, because obviously there's so many devices connected and smart home devices and streaming and stuff like that. So you got to have the right hardware to make it work properly. The other advantage of mesh is you can hardwire the Tablo via Ethernet cable as opposed to just using Wi-Fi, which is always recommended if at all possible as well. So anyway, that kind of gives you a rundown of the hardware. Like I said, if you go to our website, you can see more on those specific links and exact hardware that we recommend to make sure you're getting the right stuff. So we really break it all down out there for you, so you don't need to worry about anything as far as that goes. Obviously, we're all about, yes, you do pay more up front when you cut the cord. That's the way cord cutting works. Really, you're saving so much money over the traditional cable and satellite. Like our average customer at StreamWise saves on average $1,500 every year, so significant. And then we want to also help you, take control back, so there's no contracts. You can do what you want when you want, and really just make it so it's as easy to use as possible. Yes, it is different. Obviously, with anything, when you're making a change, it's different. But we give you your best chance for success with really making that transition is really what we're all about at StreamWise Solutions. The other thing to touch on just real briefly is that there is, and I won't get into this because this is a separate blog article on our website, but there is new antenna technology coming out where they're upgrading to what they call ATSC 3.0, which is basically better picture quality, better reception, 4K type signals. So there are other TV tuners that are network TV tuners, which is basically kind of what a Tablo is, and DVR options related to that. So that'll be in the link at the very bottom of the site as well. And it just prevents you from having to go out and buy a whole bunch of new TVs to get ATSC 3.0 TV tuners. This is kind of a tricky way to get around that. So anyway, thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully that helped. I would go to our website. Like I said, click down below in the underneath where the video is here in the comments section. We'll have a link to this specific blog with all the details and links to the hardware you need. There's also a link on our website where you can schedule a consultation, which is always recommended, so we can save your time, money, sanity. So if you go to www.getstreamwise.com, you can click on a link to schedule a consultation with one of our experts. All right, thanks.